The church bell rang once, sharp and loud, cutting through the dry afternoon air. Dust hung low along the street as townspeople gathered near the white wooden steps. She stood near the edge, fingers gripping her worn shawl, boots scuffed and cracked from years of walking too far for too little. The mayor's wife tilted her head and smiled thinly. "Well," she said, loud enough for others to hear, "look who decided to come among decent folk." A woman near the steps whispered, "Does she even belong here?" Another muttered, "She should have stayed home." She lowered her eyes but did not move. The mayor's wife stepped closer, skirts brushing the dirt. "Did anyone invite her?" she asked, glancing around. "Or did she wander in like always?" A boy snickered. "She smells like the stables," he said. The sound hit her chest like a stone. She swallowed and said nothing. The mayor's wife looked her up and down. "That shawl again," she said. "You wear it like it's worth something." A man near the doorway laughed. "Maybe it's all she owns." The mayor's wife raised her chin. "This gathering is for families," she said. "Not for burdens." Her lips parted, but no words came out. A woman behind her whispered, "Poor thing." Another answered, "She brings it on herself." The mayor's wife folded her hands. "Go on now," she said softly, cruelly. "You're making people uncomfortable." A child pointed. "Why does she look like that?" the girl asked. The girl's mother hushed her too late. Her face burned. She felt every stare, every breath held just long enough to judge her. The shawl slipped slightly, and she pulled it tighter, as if cloth could shield her heart. She took one step back. The mayor's wife smiled wider. "That's right," she said. "You know your place." Her boots scraped against the dirt as she turned away. Someone laughed again. She walked down the street with her head bowed. Behind her, voices rose and fell like insects. "Shame. She never learns. She's not right." Each word followed her. At the edge of town, she stopped near the dry well. Her hands shook as she pressed them to her face. "Why do they hate her?" a young voice asked. "Because she's different," another answered. She dropped her hands. Tears streaked the dust on her cheeks. Her breath came shallow, tight, like the air refused to stay inside her. She whispered nothing. No prayer came. No strength rose. The street felt too wide, the sky too open. She turned toward her small shack at the far end of town, where no one watched unless they wanted to mock. Her door creaked as she pushed it open. Inside, the room smelled of old wood and cold ash. She sank onto the stool near the window. "They'll never stop," she murmured, though no one listened. Her reflection stared back from the glass. Tired eyes, slumped shoulders. A woman worn thin by waiting for kindness that never stayed. She pressed her palms together until they hurt. Outside, the town went on. Laughter drifted faintly. Life moved forward without her. A sudden sound reached her ears. Hooves. Slow. Steady. She froze. The sound came closer, stopping somewhere near the fence. She rose and peeked through the cracked window. A horse stood there, dark and calm. A man sat tall in the saddle, hat low, posture still. He did not speak. He did not stare. He simply watched the shack, as if weighing something unseen. She stepped back, heart pounding. The horse shifted once. Leather creaked softly. Then the man turned the reins. The hooves moved away, unhurried. She remained by the window long after the sound faded, unsure why her chest felt less hollow than before. She left town as the sun leaned low, turning the road gold and cruel. Dust followed her boots, soft but stubborn, like the town itself refusing to let her go. The trail narrowed beyond the last fence, where no one bothered to look unless they meant harm. A voice echoed in her memory. "Move aside," a boy had said years ago. "You don't belong here," a girl had laughed. She shook her head and kept walking. Grass rustled beside the path. Birds lifted, then settled again. The wind brushed her face, without judgment. She slowed, breathing easier where no eyes waited to measure her worth. "They never stop," she murmured, though only the dirt heard. Another memory rose. "She's useless," a teacher once said. "She'll never amount to much. someone else replied. Her hands curled into fists. The trail bent toward the riverbank, and she followed, boots sinking into softer earth. Water shimmered in the distance, steady and patient. She whispered, "It doesn't hurt forever," though doubt sat heavy in her chest. A soft sound broke the quiet. She froze. Ahead, a calf stumbled near the brush, tangled in old wire. Its small cries cut sharp through the still air. A man crouched beside it. He moved slow and careful, hands steady as he worked the wire loose. The calf kicked once, scared. "Easy," he said quietly. "Easy now." His voice was low, calm, like he spoke to fear often. She stayed back, unsure if she should turn away. The man glanced up. His eyes met hers, not sharp, not curious, just aware. He said nothing. The calf jerked again. The wire snapped free. The animal bolted a few steps, then stopped, blinking. "There," the man said. "Go on." The calf ran toward the grass. He stood and brushed dirt from his hands. She shifted her weight, unsure where to look. He stepped closer, slow enough not to startle her. She stiffened. He lifted one hand, palm open, then rested it lightly on her shoulder, steadying her as the ground sloped beneath her feet. She sucked in a breath. The touch was brief, respectful. "Trail's uneven," he said. That was all. She nodded, unable to speak. He tipped his hat and turned back to his horse. Her heart thudded harder than it had all day. She watched him adjust the saddle, movements sure, practiced. Dust clung to his boots, same as hers, yet he carried it differently. She whispered, "Thank you," though he had already mounted. He paused, glanced back once, and nodded. The horse stepped forward. She stood there long after he rode off, warmth lingering where his hand had been. Her chest felt strange. Not light, not heavy, just changed. A sharp shout tore through the air. "There she is!" Her breath caught. She turned. A man stood near the rise, arms crossed, grin wide and mean. "Running away again?" he called. "Figures." She stepped back. "Thought you could hide out here?" he said, walking closer. "Town's still talking." She shook her head. "Please," she said softly. He laughed. "Still begging," he said. "Some things never change." Her boots slid against the dirt as she retreated. "Don't you walk away," he said. "People ought to see what you are." Fear crawled up her spine. The sound of hooves returned, steady and calm. The man paused. The cowboy appeared at the edge of the trail, horse standing tall. He said nothing. The bully scoffed. "Got yourself a guard now," he said. The cowboy's gaze held firm, unreadable. The bully spat into the dirt. "Not worth the trouble," he muttered. He turned and walked off. The horse shifted. The cowboy nodded once toward her, then rode away. She stood alone again, but the trail felt different now. The landlord slammed the door open and pointed at the dirt road. "Out," he said. "Now." She stood frozen, bundle clutched to her chest. "You heard," he said. "No more charity." She swallowed. "Please," she said. "She can pay next week." He laughed. "Pay with what?" he said. "Pity." She stepped back as he tossed her tin cup into the dust. "Take your junk," he said. "And don't come back." The door slammed. She stood there, shaking. A woman passing by whispered, "About time." A man added, "Should have happened sooner." She bent and gathered her few things, fingers numb. The road stretched empty ahead. She started walking. Boots scuffed. Wind pulled at her shawl. Her chest felt hollow, scraped clean. A voice followed her memory. Useless. Burden. She whispered nothing. Hooves sounded behind her. She turned slowly. The cowboy reined in beside her, horse calm, eyes steady. He looked at her bundle. "They made her leave," he said. She nodded once. He tipped his hat. "There's a place," he said. "If she wants it." Her jaw tightened. "She doesn't have money." He shook his head. "Didn't ask." She studied him, wary. "Why?" she asked. He shrugged. "Room," he said. "Work if she wants. Quiet if she doesn't." Silence stretched. She glanced back at town, then forward. Just for a night, she said. He nodded. That's fine. The ride was slow. He kept distance, never crowding her. The ranch came into view as dusk settled, lanterns glowing soft against the dark. Horses shifted in their stalls. Hay smelled warm and clean. Smoke curled from a small chimney. He dismounted first. Careful, he said, offering his hand only after she stepped down. She hesitated, then took it. The touch was brief. Inside the barn, he handed her a cup. Water, he said. She drank, hands trembling. He lit a lantern and set it near her. Loft's up there, he said. Blankets are rough, but dry. She nodded. A ranch hand glanced over. She staying, he asked. For now, the cowboy said. The man shrugged. Evening, he said to her, then returned to his work. No stairs followed. She climbed the ladder slowly. The loft smelled of hay and wood. She sat, pulling the coarse blanket around her shoulders. Below, the cowboy moved quietly, feeding horses, checking latches. She listened. A board creaked. You hungry? He called. She hesitated. A little. He set bread and beans on a crate and stepped back. Eat, he said. She ate slowly, waiting for a catch that never came. Later, he spoke again. Lantern'll stay lit, he said. No one comes up here. She whispered, Thank you. He paused. Rest, he said. The barn settled into night. Wind brushed the walls. Horses breathed slow and deep. She lay staring at the rafters. Fear crept in. What if he changed his mind? What if town followed her? Her hands curled into the blanket. Below, boots crossed the dirt once more. Gates locked, he said quietly, as if he knew she listened. Her breath eased. The lantern flickered, steady. For the first time in years, sleep came without tears. Morning came soft over the ranch, pale light spilling across the barn. She sat on the step, pulling on her boots. One stopped short. She frowned and turned it over. The torn seam was gone. The sole sat firm and strong. Her breath caught. Below, the cowboy crossed the yard. She held the boot up. You fix this? She asked. He paused. Was coming apart, he said. She stared at it. It didn't have to be done. He shrugged. Didn't take long. She slipped it on slowly, testing the ground. It fits, she said. He nodded and handed her a loaf wrapped in cloth. Bread's fresh, he said. Still warm. She hesitated. She didn't earn it. You're here, he said. That's enough. She broke a piece and tasted it. Her eyes stung. A ranch hand leaned on the fence. She eats like she's waiting for it to vanish, he said. The cowboy replied, Let her be. The man nodded and walked off. She followed the cowboy into the barn. Horses need feed, he said. Buckets are there. She lifted one and nearly spilled it. Careful, he said, steadying the handle. It's heavier than it looks. She adjusted her grip. She can manage. He stepped back. They worked in quiet rhythm. Hooves stamped. Grain rattled. Dust rose and settled. A mare nudged her arm. She's gentle, the cowboy said. Likes calm hands. She stroked the mare's neck. She does, she whispered. Later, she scrubbed the troughs near the pump. A woman from a nearby ranch called out. You're the one staying here? She stiffened. For now. The woman smiled faintly. Work suits her, she said, then turned away. She wiped her hands on her dress. Near midday, the cowboy placed folded cloth beside her. Dress needed mending, he said. She touched the stitches. They're clean. He looked away. Didn't want it catching again. Her voice trembled. She doesn't know what to say. He met her eyes. Nothing's fine. A wagon rolled past the fence. A man inside squinted. Well, he muttered to another. Look who found a place. The words cut sharp. She won't last, the man said. Her shoulders tensed. The cowboy stepped forward. Keep moving, he said evenly. The wagon rattled on. She let out a breath she hadn't known she held. Sorry, she said. He shook his head. Not your doing. They stood in silence, the fence between them and the road. A ranch hand returned with water.
She works hard, he said.
Quiet too. The cowboy nodded. As the sun dipped low, she leaned on the railing, staring west. The land stretched wide, gold and open. Her hands tightened on the wood. Could kindness last? Morning settled into the ranch, like a habit. She carried the bucket toward the corral, arms stiff but steady. Hold it lower, the cowboy said. Keeps the slosh down. She adjusted her grip. Like this? He nodded. That's it. A cow shifted, tail flicking. She won't kick, he said. Not if she feels calm. She sat on the stool, hands unsure. Slow, he said. She'll follow your hands. Milk hit the pail in soft rhythm. Her mouth curved, surprised. She's doing it, a child's voice said. Two boys leaned on the fence, grinning. Can she teach us? One asked. The cowboy answered, maybe later. The boys laughed and ran off. She wiped her hands on her apron. That felt right, she said quietly. He replied, work usually does. Later, she walked the fence line with a hammer. A board leaned loose. Hit it straight, the cowboy said. Let the nail bite. She swung once.
Missed.
He stepped closer. Again. The nail sank. Her shoulders lifted. A girl from a nearby ranch called out. She's getting good. She ducked her head, smiling despite herself. At the woodpile, she stacked logs. They burn clean or dry, he said. Take the split ones. She followed his lead. Children returned near noon, chasing the barn cat. Don't scare him, she said. He likes her, a girl said. He follows her. The cat rubbed her leg. She laughed, startled by the sound. The cowboy paused, watching. You sound different, he said. She hesitated. Different how?
Stronger, he said.
The words stayed with her. A wagon rolled past the fence. A man called out. She's still hiding here? Another voice answered. Won't last. Her hands stilled. The cowboy straightened. Mind your road, he said. The wagon moved on. She swallowed. They don't stop.
They don't decide, he said.
Her chest tightened. At the barn, she swept the floor. Dust swirled, then settled. A ranch hand leaned nearby. She works harder than most, he said. The cowboy replied. She chooses to. She stood taller. In the afternoon heat, she carried water. Sweat darkened her sleeves. She should rest, a woman said from the fence. She will, the cowboy replied, when she wants. She finished the bucket. At the far stall, the cat hissed. She froze. A snake coiled near the boards. She stepped back too slow. The cat leapt, claws flashing. The snake struck air and slid away. Her breath broke loose. The cowboy reached her. You're safe, he said. Her hands shook. The cat settled near her boots. Good guard, the cowboy said. She crouched, touching the cat's back. Thank you, she whispered. Evening cooled the land. She leaned on the fence, watching the sun dip low. Children waved goodbye. The ranch breathed steady around her. Her reflection stared back from the trough water. Her back was straighter. Her voice steadier. Shame still whispered, but hope answered. She held the railing, looking west, and did not turn away. The note lay folded on the rail.
She stared at it.
Read it, a ranch hand said softly. Her fingers trembled as she opened the paper. You don't belong, it read. You never did. Her breath caught. Another note waited beneath it. Leave before worse comes. She crushed the paper in her fist. They're cowards, the ranch hand said, hiding behind ink. She shook her head. They always find a way. The cowboy approached, eyes steady. He took the notes without comment and tore them once, then again. They won't decide her life, he said. She swallowed. What if they never stop? They get tired, he said. Hate needs fuel. Her shoulders slumped. That night, sleep came sharp and broken. Laughter echoed in her dreams. She's nothing, a voice said. Look at her, another mocked. She woke gasping, hands clawing the blanket. Rain hammered the roof. Thunder cracked close. She climbed down the ladder, heart racing. The barn doors rattled. A board snapped loose. She cried out. The cowboy rushed in as wind tore through the gap. "Stay back," he said. The beam fell hard, missing her by inches. He moved fast, pulling her behind a stall wall. "Easy," he said. "It's all right." Her body shook. "Breathe," he said. "Follow the sound." She clutched his coat. Thunder rolled again. He held the beam until the wind eased. "You're safe," he said. Her voice came small. "They always come back, even in dreams." He nodded. "Past leaves marks," he said. "Doesn't mean it owns the road ahead." Rain softened to a steady fall. They sat on overturned crates. She stared at the dirt. "Why do people enjoy breaking others?" she asked. He thought before answering. "Because it's easier than fixing themselves." She looked up. "And justice?" "Justice is slow," he said. "But it remembers." Silence filled the barn. The storm drifted away. Later, he handed her a lantern, old and dented. "Use this," he said. "Light stays steady." She held it, warmth spreading through her palms. "What if she isn't strong enough?" she asked. He met her eyes. "Strength isn't noise," he said. "It's staying." Her grip tightened on the lantern. Outside, rain faded into night. For the first time, the dark did not feel endless. The bell above the general store door rang once. She stepped inside. Conversation slowed. A man near the counter muttered, "She's bold today." She lifted her chin and walked forward. The shopkeeper cleared his throat. "What does she need?" "Flour," she said. "And salt." He hesitated, then reached for the shelf. A woman whispered, "She thinks she belongs." Another answered, "Someone should remind her." She set her coins on the counter, hands steady. The shopkeeper slid the goods toward her. "That's all." "That's all," she said. Outside, a child cried near the hitching post. She turned. A small boy stood alone, eyes wide. "Where's your family?" she asked gently. He sniffed. "They went ahead." She crouched. "What's your name?" "Caleb." "Stay here," she said. "They'll come back." A man scoffed from the porch. She giving advice now? She ignored him. The boy tugged her sleeve. "Will she stay?" "Yes," she said. "She'll stay." Hooves sounded nearby. The cowboy waited across the street, leaning against his horse, saying nothing. A woman approached fast, skirts stiff. The mayor's wife stopped inches away. "Well," she said, still pretending. She met the woman's eyes. "This town has rules," the mayor's wife continued. "People like her forget them." She stood straight. "She follows the same laws." The woman laughed. "Laws don't make someone respectable." The boy clutched her hand. She squeezed his fingers. The mayor's wife leaned closer. "She should be careful. Charity wears thin." Silence stretched. "She isn't afraid," the mayor's wife said. "She's foolish." She answered calmly. "She's tired." The woman blinked. "Excuse her," the mayor's wife snapped. "Tired of shrinking," she said. "Tired of being quiet." A murmur ran through the street. The cowboy shifted his weight, but stayed silent. The mayor's wife straightened. "This isn't over," she said. She replied, "It never was." The woman turned sharply and walked away. The boy's parents rushed up. "There he is," the father said. "Thank you." The boy smiled. She helped. They left. She exhaled slowly. A man near the porch muttered, "Careful." She nodded once and walked on. The cowboy fell in step beside her, not touching. "You did well," he said. She shook her head. She just stood. "That's enough," he said. They passed the last house as the sun dipped low. The road stretched open ahead. She glanced back once, then forward. Her boots moved steady toward home. The church yard filled before sunset. Lanterns hung from posts. Voices blended low and uneasy. She stood near the steps, shawl clean and straight across her shoulders. A woman whispered, "She came anyway." Another replied, "She looks different." The mayor's wife spotted her and smiled thinly. "Well," she said loudly, "how generous of her to join polite company." Silence spread. She kept her chin lifted. "This gathering honors the town," the mayor's wife continued. "Standards matter." A man cleared his throat. "Let the evening begin." The mayor's wife stepped closer. "Some people forget their place," she said. "Charity does not grant respect." She felt her pulse race. She said calmly, "Respect is chosen." Murmurs rippled. The mayor's wife laughed. "Listen to her," she said. "Practicing speeches now." The crowd shifted. The cowboy stepped forward. He removed his hat. "That's enough," he said quietly. The mayor's wife turned sharply. "And who asked you?" "No one," he said. "That's the point." A hush fell. "She's been mocked," he continued.
Pushed.
"Lied about." A man protested. "That's not." The cowboy raised a hand. "It is," he said. "And everyone here knows it." Faces lowered. The mayor's wife scoffed. "She brings trouble." He answered evenly. "She carried it." Others handed it to her. A woman whispered, "He's right." The mayor's wife stiffened. "This is improper." He looked around the yard. "What's improper is cruelty dressed as tradition." She felt her breath loosen. A child tugged a sleeve. "Why are they mean?" No one answered. The mayor's wife snapped. "This town decides who belongs." The cowboy replied, "Character decides." The words landed heavy. She stepped forward one pace. Her voice did not shake. "She asked for nothing," she said. "Only space." A man near the fence nodded slowly. Another murmured, "She never harmed anyone." The mayor's wife looked around, unsettled. "You forget yourselves," she said. The cowboy met her stare.
"No," he said.
"They remember." Lantern light flickered across faces. She stood taller, hands steady at her sides. Someone said softly, "Look at her." The mayor's wife backed away a step. "This isn't finished," she warned. He replied, "Truth rarely is." The bell rang once. Conversation resumed, changed. Some avoided her eyes. Others watched with new curiosity. She exhaled slowly. The cowboy stood beside her, silent again. Her shawl rested firm on her shoulders. She met the crowd's gaze without flinching. The night held its breath. The lawyer arrived just after noon. His wagon stopped beside the church, dust curling around its wheels. People gathered quickly. "Why's he here?" someone whispered. "He's from the city," another said. "Carries papers." She stood near the fence, hands folded, face calm. The cowboy stayed beside her, silent. The mayor's wife stepped forward. "This concerns the estate," she said sharply. "Private business." The lawyer adjusted his coat. "It concerns the truth," he said. A murmur spread. The mayor frowned. "There's been a mistake." "There has not," the lawyer replied. "The will is clear." He unfolded the document. "This land," he said, "including the house, barns, and holdings, was left to her." Silence fell hard. A woman gasped, "That's not possible." The mayor's wife laughed once, thin and forced. "She's lying." The lawyer shook his head. The signature was verified. Witnessed. Filed. He turned toward her. "She is the rightful owner." Whispers burst loose. "She?" The outcast. "All of it." She did not move. The cowboy glanced at her, pride quiet in his eyes. The mayor's wife stepped back. "This is absurd." The lawyer continued. "The former owner specified this transfer in full." A man near the step said, "Why her?" The lawyer answered, "Because she was loyal. Because she endured." Her breath caught. A woman lowered her gaze. "We were wrong." Another murmured, "All this time." The mayor's wife stiffened. "This town will not accept." The mayor cut her off. "It's done." She lifted her chin. The lawyer offered the papers. "They are hers." She took them carefully. No smile crossed her face. A ranch hand whispered, "She won." She replied softly, "No one lost." The mayor's wife stared, shaken. A man stepped forward. "She should hear an apology." Silence stretched. A woman said quietly. She deserved better. She met their eyes. The past stays, she said. What comes next matters. The cowboy nodded once. The crowd slowly dispersed, changed. Later, she walked the estate grounds as the sun dipped low. Lanterns were lit along the path. The cowboy followed at a respectful distance. She paused near the house. It's strange, she said. Standing here. He replied, You stand like you belong. She looked out over the land. The light glowed steady. Her steps moved forward, unafraid. The veranda boards were warm beneath her boots. She rested the lantern on the railing and watched the fields stretch wide and calm. Children's laughter drifted from the far pasture. They run like they own the land, a ranch hand said. She smiled. They feel safe. The man nodded. So, do we. Hooves sounded behind her. The cowboy stopped a few steps away. Evening, he said. She turned. Evening. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky gold. They're settling in, he said. Ranch runs smooth, she replied. They earned that. A child called out. She's watching. Another voice answered. Wave. She lifted her hand. The children waved back, then ran on. The cowboy leaned against a post. Town's quieter, he said. She nodded. They look different now.
Some do, he said.
Others are learning. She held the lantern tighter. A woman approached the gate, hesitant. I won't stay long, the woman said. Just wanted to say sorry. She studied the woman's face. Thank you, she said. The woman nodded and left. Silence returned, soft and easy. The cowboys spoke again. They respect you. She shook her head. They see the truth. That's respect, he said. The wind moved through the grass. She glanced at him. You never asked for anything. He answered. Didn't need to. Her voice softened. You stayed. He met her eyes. So did you. The words settled between them. A ranch hand called. Supper's ready. Coming, the cowboy replied. He paused. You joining? She smiled. Yes. They walked inside as the sun slipped away. Later, she returned to the veranda alone. Lantern light glowed steady in her hands. The past felt far now, not gone, but quiet. Footsteps approached. You always end the day out here, the cowboy said. She nodded. It reminds her. Of what? That she made it. He rested beside her. You did, he said. She looked out across the land. No whispers followed her. No eyes weighed her worth. The lantern warmed her palms. The house stood solid behind her. She did not flinch from the night. She belonged. The light stayed on.